Hello, this is Les Sandifer,
And this is Paul Sperlin.
and we are here at Lads2Leaders. You may remember us from Coffee Conversations with Les and Paul.
With Les and Paul.
With Les and Paul.
Les and Paul.
That's right. Sponsored by
Piedmont Road Church of Christ, right there in Marietta, Georgia.
That's right,
And the
Ministry League.
at ministryleague.com.
Indeed. So we're sitting here in the lobby of the Marriott Marquis in downtown Atlanta, enjoying a wonderful event called Lads2Leaders.
Yeah,
Paul was just telling me why he loved Lads2Leaders.
I do. It's an opportunity to get together. There is competition. I get that. I grew up in it. This is going to date me. This is my 35th convention.
Wow.
I've never been at home on Easter in
That
35
is
years.
crazy.
I'm serious. It's really monumental. I'm pretty excited.
Well, this is my third.
Yeah, there you go. Say same thing.
You got to start somewhere.
No, but I know. Isn't it good? So, but I love the people. It's like lectureships. It's like exposure youth camp, everything else. But this, you got people literally all over the state of Georgia and other places too, but mostly Georgia, that we get to see. We don't get to see everywhere.
That's right.
And you get to see your brethren that's really kind of close to you that you don't see much.
Yeah.
And I love it. I love the reunion of it. I love the family of it. And it doesn't matter. You see faces. I know more faces than names, admittedly.
Okay.
My age is hurting me. but I love seeing it. It's like I know that person. I know where they're from, or that kind of thing. It's really enriching. I like it a lot.
And for those of you that listen that don't really know who we are, I will tell you one of the enjoyable things for me about sitting here is that everybody that comes by this table knows Paul and has met him at some point.
That's not true.
So I get to meet people from all over that I've never met because
that's not true.
Paul's here. It's not entirely true, but there's a lot of folks that come by that they see Paul and their eyes light up.
Oh, you're sweet.
Yeah.
Sweet man.
So come listen to our podcast.
This is why we do a show together.
That's exactly why we
Compliment
do the
each
show
other.
together. So please
Good.
come listen to our podcast, Coffee Conversations with Les and Paul. You can get it wherever you get your favorite podcast.
Spotify, iTunes.
That's right.
And you can even go to Facebook and follow Piedmont Road Church of Christ. You can go to the website at lifeinchrist.com.
Yep.
Or go to ministryleague.com and find the location to be able to download and listen to us. Love to have you. We're out there every week. Looking forward to it. Looking forward to that time to be with you over that cup of coffee. Welcome to Coffee Conversations with Les and Paul. 30 minutes for God.
A podcast sponsored by Piedmont Road Church of Christ and Ministry League.
We are here to discuss Bible topics just as if we were sitting here asking Jesus himself. I am Paul Sperlin.
And I am Les Sandifer. We hope you will enjoy our relaxed Bible-based discussions.
Thanks for joining us as we talk about and think about what we would like to ask Jesus over a cup of coffee.
Hello. Oh, it's always good to be back.
It is.
Sitting here chatting, doing our thing.
I know.
And we're going to move into a little bit different topic now. We're going to talk about strangers in the world.
We are, but before we do that, do you have your cup of coffee?
I do have my cup of coffee, although in all honesty,
It's almost gone.
it's almost gone because we talked a while before we
have.
started recording.
We did.
It's
We got
very
a lot
exciting,
Out of
but-
the way. It was pretty cool.
And I have to admit to you that I'm kind of taking to the cinnamon flavor.
Really? It's good. I got a bunch of that.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
That'll work out really
I
well
know,
for
I-
us.
I saw them in the drawer. I was like, I don't know if I can. I may have to bring my own K-Cups.
The coffee cup drawer.
But it's all good.
Yeah.
Although this cup doesn't have a
It doesn't.
appropriate sticker on it.
But we
so
have them.
they're on order.
We have stickers.
We have stickers.
stickers, and the mugs are on order. The hats are on order. We're going to merch it up, and we really would like for you, if you don't mind, to share this, to hit share, and drop us on social media. Let folks know about Coffee Conversations with Les and Paul, and of course the Lord Jesus, because we got the Bible open, and He's going to talk to us, and
we have
away we go.
stickers.
And we have stickers.
And those stickers
literally
say
Coffee Conversations.
Coffee Conversations with Les and Paul. So
If you went to the Lads Convention in Atlanta, you would have picked up a couple of those. If you came by the Ministry League table, hopefully you did. If you didn't,
oh yeah, that was a great weekend.
it was good.
A lot of fun.
Yeah, and probably in our next show or the one after that, we'll have a few snippets from that and talk a little more about that. Probably.
No, that's a great
yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
If you're out there not familiar with Lads2Leaders, you should go to their website.
Yeah.
Lads2Leaders.com, is that correct?
I think that's right. Yeah.
And just see what they're all about. But for those that are familiar with it, you understand it. It's a great experience for the kids to learn to get in front of people. I have always said I'm not necessarily the number one fan of competition-based stuff, but it works out good for the young people to really get a sense of who they are.
Yeah, for sure.
As developing Christians and there is no exchanging the experience of being in front of people.
True.
That is a huge win.
What's neat is you're not just in front of your people. You're in front of people that you would consider to be strangers.
Yep.
But they're not, which is funny because we're leading into the strangers of the world. But people that literally, they're members of the church. We're all there together. And we had, a couple thousand people there for worship on Sunday morning. So it was
well, it's a great segue.
The hustle and the bustle. Yeah.
I mean, it is the distinction between the world and not the world.
Right. That's absolutely true.
So, Paul, thinking about the world, where's the farthest you've ever been from home?
Probably Thailand.
Whew.
Bangkok.
Yeesh.
28 hours on a plane.
You win.
Done.
I've never been that far.
Really?
I went to Scandinavia once. I was in a little
How far?
I was in a little small town outside of can't think of the name of the capital of Sweden off the top of my head for some reason. Anyway, whatever the capital of Sweden.
But you went
is.
to the Philippines?
No, I did not go to the Philippines. I went to Central Africa.
I thought you did. Okay, my bad.
No, so
gotcha.
I mean, that was a long enough flight, but it was not like going to Thailand or the Philippines.
Well, the layover was in Hong Kong, so Atlanta.
Okay.
Atlanta. Did we go straight from Atlanta to Hong Kong? Surely not.
I have no idea.
Okay, I think it was all the way to Hong Kong, and that was about almost 24 hours.
Did you sleep?
I tried.
Yeah,
I really tried.
It's
hard to sleep on a plane. It's hard.
No, it's tricky business.
Too many movies to watch.
But it is a great thought practice.
I mean, you put them in front of my face. I want to sleep, but I haven't seen that one yet. It's Maverick just came out.
So I used to work with a guy that had a rule about whether you sleep going or coming back. I don't remember what all his rule was, but he talked about the same thing. Just whichever direction it was, just binge watch movies.
Yeah,
and the other direction don't.
Yeah, that's funny.
How did it feel when you were that far away from home?
I mean, weird, but I love that stuff. I love, we do the Scotland stuff, the London before as well. And so I love being over there. I love, especially while we're there, every time I travel, it's because of mission trips, preaching, doing things. So that was good. It was different because the food is different, but the best egg roll in my life I've ever had, it was in Thailand. It was incredible.
Did you get sick?
No, not at all.
I did.
It was awesome. The food was awesome.
Oh yeah. I was warned, don't drink the water.
Oh, never drink the water.
Don't even put it on your toothbrush.
Yeah, outside of the U.S., take bottled water for all that business.
Well,
anyway.
I ran my toothbrush under the...
You thought just a little bit, no big deal.
I didn't even think about it. I mean, it's such a natural thing to do. We had bottled water sitting right there to pour, and it's the only time I did it. But,
and that's why it's there.
But 4 days later...
There we are.
I'm like, oh. Yeah, wow. Yeah, it was awful.
It's like, man, I wish somebody had told me something.
Yeah, I'm thinking there's a lot of people out there that would think about... have a concept of going overseas or going somewhere a long way from home.
Yeah,
dealing with different cultures where they might get homesick.
Right.
I went from Jackson, Mississippi to Greenwood, Mississippi, which is a grand total of about 2 hours.
Okay.
When I was, let's just say 10, I lasted for 2 days, and my mom had to come get me.
Okay.
I just was homesick.
Yeah.
And it's one of those feelings that it always sticks with me. I had never been away much. This was a family that had lived down the street from me. They moved up to Greenwood. His dad was in the business with hospitals, and he had moved up there to run a hospital in Greenwood.
That's right.
Yeah, so it was a different experience, right? Now, as an adult, it doesn't play out the same way, and maybe some people don't get homesick, or some people. I mean, it just comes out in a different way.
Well, Stephanie was with me on the trip,
which helps.
Helps a lot.
Yeah, because
I've been on trips without them. That changes everything.
It does.
It does for sure. What's funny is, and I know this is totally off the topic, as you talk about your life in Mississippi and things like that, I'm like, well, that's interesting. I work with somebody that also lived there. Her name is Tammy. But turns out you are brother and sister, so that's why that.
Yeah,
is.
there's a reason why they both live
That's
there.
right. That worked out good. It's like interesting. Y'all have a similar upbringing.
Hey, maybe they should
That
talk.
worked out good.
Oh, they do talk.
Yeah,
because they're
they do.
brother
They're
and sister.
related.
Well, not all brothers and sisters talk, I guess.
Let's guess,
But these two do.
But we lived in Laurel, Mississippi, for a little while.
Oh yeah,
Daddy preached down there.
yeah, it's a hot place.
Well, oh man, the Delta. You kidding me? Anyway, sorry.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, back to strangers in the world. Yeah, far away. You do have sensations of the culture's different, and you got to deal with it. And for some people it's fun. For some people it's not. It just depends on your outlook and your experiences, I guess.
Yeah, and maybe somebody's asking, what is the question about being far away from home? How does that play into this topic of strangers in the world? And
well, because we are far away from home.
It's true. We are.
Paul talked to the church in Philippi and basically let them know that our citizenship is in heaven. It is not here. And that's sometimes tough to continue to remind yourself every day. I start the day, I came to work today, I did my thing, and it's like, this really isn't what I'm meant to be. This is not my ending place. This is just part of the journey.
Oh yeah, it's very tough when you get up in the morning and every day the world presents you with challenges that take your focus away.
Yeah.
When we taught this class together on the same subject matter, and even talking about this particular topic before this recording, I had mentioned to you that I think that is one of the challenges we face as Christians, is to not let our current world and the things in it and the things around us affect how we see the church,
right,
and how we see one another. Because there's a lot of things that go on in what we call the world, but in our day-to-day lives that will impact how we interact with one another, see one another, those sorts of things.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
I do. And it's such a temporary existence. What we're doing right now, it's just a temporary existence, and we're not meant to be here forever, but we're to make the most of the time we are here.
Yep.
To affect people in a very godly and a positive way, and to be that Christ-like thing. We've talked about that before. But, it really, and just to quote the line here, we're people in the world, not of the world.
Right.
So let's not let the world overtake who we're supposed to be, because God created us to be with him. And because he created us to be with him, be careful the steps you take and the moves you make, to quote a Police reference there.
A Police reference?
Well, the group Police, they sang a song.
Oh.
Anyway, I'm not going to sing. But
why? You got a good voice. Just sing. We've got a few minutes.
Yeah. Anyway.
Not for that.
Not for that.
Okay.
But the steps you take, the moves you make, the decisions you make in life. Yeah.
You said the police, and I was thinking police organization.
Police.
I wasn't thinking.
No. They're not going to knock the doors down. They might if I start singing, but
yeah. Oh, now I'm getting the line in my head.
It's there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's there. Sting in all his glory.
Right. But the farthest you get away from home, like your house, the more you're like, I can't wait to get back there. But how does that resonate with a home we've never really been to yet?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that think about Bible study in the world and how we try to communicate God's word to people, that no matter how much you're enjoying life right now, it gets so much better. It's a better that we don't even understand.
Yeah.
And it's so incredible.
Well, and maybe wrapped up in that is the idea of if we're living our lives appropriately, and that is really the thing that brings us joy in our life, maybe you'll occasionally have people ask you, you're going through this or that.
Yeah.
How do you stay upbeat? How do you
deal with that?
Well, the answer is this world is not my home.
Yeah, I'm not there yet.
I'm just a passing through, as the church song. Yeah.
That's a good song. That's a better song.
Yeah. Well, it is a church-related song, so
it is.
We could sing it. We'll sing it later.
I led that song as a junior and senior in high school.
What?
In song leading at Lads2Leaders. I love that song that much. Oh yeah, loved it.
Yeah, that's a great song.
That was great. Anyway.
I feel like we should sing it at some point.
Probably so.
John chapter 17, verses 13 through 19. You want to go ahead and read these?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay. You're going to read it to me.
I'll start a few verses here, and we'll stop here in a minute. But now I'm coming to you, and these things I speak in the world, that they may have my joy fulfilled in themselves. I have given them your word, and the world has hated them because they are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. I do not ask you to take them out of the world, but that you keep them from the evil one. That's probably a good stopping place right there.
Yeah, and you want to put some context around it. This is Jesus in a prayer.
Yeah, he's basically talking about the song you just mentioned.
Right.
This is such a temporary situation. Don't let evil overcome your existence, because it's not going to be like this forever.
Right.
He wants to push us towards what he's preparing for us right now. When Jesus left his disciples, left his apostles, Thomas, I'm pretty sure, was the one there in John 14 who's asking, "Where are you going? How come into the way?" He's like, "Where I'm going, you can't go." He separated himself, not to create the church, but to create heaven. The church was already established.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
But he had to separate himself from mankind to create something that man can't create.
That's right.
And I think that kind of gives us some context into what's happening here in this passage.
The mansion
over the hilltop
that he's creating for us.
Exactly.
Maybe not the best translational choice.
Why are we pumping in songs in everything we say today? I mean, it kind of works, but it's happening. It is. It's a mansion. And there are some translations that say rooms. Not a fan.
Yeah.
Not a fan.
You like the mansion?
I like the mansion.
Okay.
I really do. In fact, I hate saying it because I'm a big ESV guy. I think ESV kind of says rooms, but I think
that's a good question. I don't know.
It is. I'll have to pull it up.
I don't remember.
Is that what that
We'll
is
look
right there?
while we're sitting here.
That's right.
Because I've got my Bible open, but I'm in the wrong chapter.
Yeah.
I don't like it when that happens. But we'll take a quick gander. Let
For
not
sure.
your hearts be troubled. Believe in God. Believe also in me. In my Father's house are many rooms.
Yeah.
There's the ESV.
So KJV, New King James Version, the original American Standard, I think used the word mansions.
Yep.
So I would assume New American probably goes rooms too.
But the rest of that's great. If it were not so, I would have told you.
I go
if
to prepare
it
a
were
place
not
for you.
so, would I have told you that I go to prepare a place for you?
And if I go to prepare a place for you, I come again and receive you myself.
That where I am,
there you may be also.
Nice. Yeah, that's a great 14, 15, 16, 17, all of that in John is great. And in this particular verse reference that we gave, we're in the midst of Jesus offering a prayer to the Father on behalf of the disciples, and I love the segment you finished with. I do not ask that you take them out of the world, but you keep them from the evil one. Our purpose in walking in this life is not to be separated from the people around us that are not followers of Christ, because that would eliminate our ability to talk to them about Jesus.
Right.
If we just completely were separated from them. But really, it's to keep us from being influenced by Satan.
Right.
And the way Satan wants you to operate with the people around you. Yeah.
Because he's powerful.
He's
about as powerful as God will allow him to be. Isn't that great?
Yeah, he's absolutely as powerful as
the Lord will allow him to be.
God allows him.
I mean, he had to ask questions. He had to ask in the situation with Job.
Yes.
Can I mess with him?
I had to ask for permission.
Yeah, and God's like, well, he's got enough faith. Sure, go ahead.
Why do you suppose he's allowed to operate? You ever thought about it?
God wants to know if we're for real. That's a good question, though. He wants to know if we're for real.
I've always heard the distinction of testing versus tempting. The way James presents it,
good call.
Talking about the testing of your faith produces patience, but it goes on to say that God will never tempt you, that you're tempted by your own desires.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting distinction, but I think therein lies the conundrum with Satan, because Satan is always out there trying to put those things in front of you that will bring you to weakness.
Yeah, God doesn't have to because he knows the devil's going to take care of that.
That's right.
And God doesn't know evil. He can't do evil.
That's right.
The Bible specifically tells us that.
Yep.
So he's like, yeah, he's got this. But he also knows that, and he's told us in Scripture that we will overcome.
That's right.
No matter what is thrown in our way, we will overcome. God, because, well,
He's not going to give us anything.
He's going to provide a way of escape. He's going to let us get out of it. It's just kind of neat.
Not giving us more than we can handle.
Exactly. So we are strangers in this world because we're not meant to be here for very long. And so I guess we continue that. You want to continue in verse 16?
Sure. They are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. And just backing up for context, they being his disciples,
right,
are not of the world, just as I am not of the world. Sanctify them in the truth. Your word is truth. As you sent me into the world, so I have sent them into the world. And for their sake I consecrate myself, that they also may be sanctified in truth.
Man.
Yeah.
That's so strong.
Yeah, it's stout.
The truth will purify, hence sanctify them.
That's right.
I mean, it's going to make us pure. It's funny because all of this kind of goes down to the lesson that I heard on Sunday night about holiness. A really, really good lesson on holiness, by the way. It was on point. Man, it was so good. And I needed something good on Sunday night because it was a busy weekend. But yeah, the purification of the soul, the people, it just kind of rolls together, I thought.
Yeah.
Great job, by the way. You did good at that.
Oh, thank you. It was much better than the previous one where I told you I didn't feel like
the slides
wasn't as on point.
Slides mess with you.
Yeah. Yeah, we talked about the concept of holiness on Sunday night as part of our devotional thought, and I'll just introduce a little bit of context around Paul's comment. I was a little bit surprised when I was studying for it with the discipline aspect that fell into it. It seems obvious, but in terms of being not of this world, there is definitively a discipline aspect that goes with it, either in the way that we choose to be disciplined in and of it ourselves, or allowing God to discipline us through his word. Because there are times we're going to step out.
That's a good call.
It's called sin, and sometimes we err and make mistakes, but we have to be willing to let God correct us.
Right.
And develop some discipline within ourselves. Because, ultimately, the Ephesians chapter 4 reference, straight up.
Right.
If you want to be righteous and holy like God is righteous and holy, here's a bunch of things you got to do.
Right.
And that's part of the sanctification. It's part of being in the truth, like Jesus is saying, as recorded by John.
God is wanting to correct us just like our parents correct us.
That's right.
There's a theme there. It just flows all the way through the Bible, but specifically the New Testament, of family. It's a family story.
That's right.
Yep. And if our parents are put into a situation because God put them in that spot, because he did those things. He wants to correct us. He's like, I need you to be corrected. I need you to be admonished. I need you to be encouraged too, you know? And so that's what parents are for, and that's what God did. And so that's what we get from that, I think.
Yeah, I almost read the Hebrews passage as a duh moment for me. Yeah. Because it's almost like the Hebrews writer was saying, you freely accept that you're going to have discipline from your Father on earth.
Right.
Why would you not expect to have that from your Heavenly Father?
Why would you expect anything different?
No, and this world is eat up with, if it's a God of love, he wouldn't do this or that or the other thing. And that's absolutely not true.
Right.
If your parents love you, they put discipline in for correction.
Right.
I know in my personal life, I would have been a mess had my dad not laid the switch to me occasionally, or whatever your version of that is. Not everybody gets physical hands-on. Some people don't need it. My sister didn't. So,
I definitely needed it.
Oh, yeah.
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, there was no question. Well,
Bob Sperlin did not spare the rod.
I only remember one time where my father took the time to go cut a switch.
Yeah.
The rest of it was pull the belt off, take care of business, move on.
That's right.
Actually, writing things worked as well for me.
Oh, yeah, I can't stand it.
Oh, it was awful.
My mom was a teacher. You better believe she worked that one out.
You got to write 500 times. I won't do this again.
If I write it once, do you not think I get it?
I didn't.
I know.
But I wrote it 500 times. I got it.
I was mortified when they made me go pick my own. Go get a Switch.
Oh,
Go get a
no.
Switch.
No, I never
I'm
had
like,
to do that.
I'll get you a little one. You better get one.
You better get the big one.
Or I'll get one bigger than that.
That's an inch thick, so it doesn't break.
Yeah, it's like, ugh, dude.
Yeah, he walked outside one time, and I was like, oh, I've got to sit here and anticipate him coming back with that thing.
Oh, what's worse is when my mom punished me in the daytime, and then when Daddy came home at night, I got to go do it again.
It was
like, wait,
double
they
down.
got me at school. What's happening right
They
now?
got me at school. Mama got me.
They don't do that today, but they did that then.
Oh, no. Yeah, no, I had a weird experience with discipline in school one time because
man.
it was not equitable,
Yeah.
which for me was okay because I got the better end of it than the other person. But yeah, that's kind of all part of this sanctification. It's all part of consecrating yourself. It's all wrapped up in this idea of being in the truth and not being of the world. And we can flirt very strongly with the edges of what the world has to offer, right? Well, I can get up close when really what we should be doing is just throwing up the stop sign, saying that's not who I am.
That's true.
Yeah.
That's definitely true. So let me ask this question.
Ask.
What do you think Jesus meant by wanting his church to be not of this world? What do you think he meant by that? I mean, I know that seems like probably an obvious question, an obvious answer to that, but what's all going into that, you think?
I think there's probably a number of things. I mean, the world is selfish.
Yep.
The world is me-focused. Mm-hmm. And we sometimes convince ourselves that our world is different than the world 1,000 years ago or 2,000 years ago or whatever.
Right. The
truth is, it really isn't.
No,
the nature of man has not changed.
Right.
I mean, you read stories of Bible times that may not be recorded in the Bible, so you get some context about all of that stuff that was going on, and it very much me focused. I'm certain that was part of it. Part of it was probably the fact that Jesus wanted us to be Jesus focused. Mm-hmm. And the world has a way of trying to make you not focused on heavenly things, spiritual things. It's focused on Satan things.
That's true.
That exist. What about you?
I mean, I think it's an attack, on the church. I think that's kind of where we're at. I think, like you said, I think we're selfish, like you said. But we have to be different. We have to be different from the world. We're told to be a peculiar people. And growing up in school, that was never anything anybody wanted to be. We want to be like everybody else,
Yeah, so
as children,
I wrote a note on this from when we did the class, and I just put social issues with a question mark. Mm-hmm. And there's a lot that goes into that concept of social issues. Right? Because exactly what you said, there's a natural need to fit in, and that will almost always cause some challenge with how you're going to live your life as a Christian.
Right.
Because now socially you want to be accepted. Mm-hmm. So you're going to do and say things or act in a way that maybe it's not really where we ought to be as Christians.
Right.
Very, very tough when you're...
It is.
Well, I was going to say it's tough when you're a teen or a preteen. It's tough when you're an adult.
Yeah. Parents in general with kids, I know my parents with me, they cared who I spent my time with.
Yeah.
They cared who I spent my time with. But at the same time, I never really thought about this, and I'm recently doing a study, which would come forth, I think, Sunday night. But a study that I never really turned it around and wondered, well, Dad, who you spend your time with? You care so much who I spend my time with. You don't want me to hang out with bad people, stupid people, sorry, jerks, people that mistreat people and say bad things. And I never really looked and say, well, who are you hanging out with?
Who was he hanging out with?
Church people. I mean, he had Bible studies every evening, so that he was like the king of that. But yeah, but I'm now looking at the fact that there's a reason why they wanted us to spend time with Christian people, because you are going to be like the people you spend your time with.
Yeah,
I mean, that's just it. And I think when we get to this point, talking about the world, Jesus did not want us to be like the world. He wants us to be like people, because the day's going to come when you're going to be with those people who loves Jesus.
That's right.
Now, we know this through Revelation 2021. We understand. We're not going to miss those that don't make it.
That's right.
We're not going to. But still, the people think of the influence you can share on somebody. And I know we're getting a whole other thing and we don't have much time left, but I just think it's kind of neat that parents and adults and people in authority really want the younger to spend time with good people because they want them to be good people. And I think that's what Jesus was wanting.
So why don't we pick up that topic next week and just start the thread from here going forward. What does it mean to be with the appropriate people in your lives today?
Yeah, sure.
And we'll chat some more about that.
We can do that. We can do that next week.
Yeah. Sounds like a plan.
Yeah. For Les Sandifer, I am Paul Sperlin. This has been Coffee Conversations with Les and Paul. We do want to thank Piedmont Road Church of Christ and Ministry League for being our sponsors. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining us. And we look forward to being with you for that next cup of coffee.